There is no mercy in the wild savanna. In this savage kingdom, there is only one survival rule: fight or die. Maasai Mara. Many call it a refuge, yet the true ecosystem spans close to 10,000 square kilometers. Strip away the borders humans have drawn, and the Mara merges without interruption into the Tanzanian Serengeti, creating the most expansive migration corridor on the planet. This is a living system with a past longer than any civilization our species has constructed. It operates by its own laws, moves to its own rhythms. And like every enduring civilization, it depends entirely on water. The Mara River begins in the Mau forest, high on the Kenyan plateau, hundreds of kilometers to the north. From there, the water pushes southward, threading through the core of the ecosystem and eventually draining into Lake Victoria. Every prolonged dry season starts with a single tree felled in the Mau forest. When the wildebeest shifted south, they were chasing rainfall. Those that stayed behind confronted the stripped reality of the Mara 3 months into the drought, after the last rains. But the Mara was never built for just 2 players. It is a web of competing power, and within that web, other forces operate. Each has found a different answer to the same fundamental question. 3 survival strategies. Each one a lens on what is about to take place. The dry season. In Maasai Mara, rainfall well below what the land expects. The most severe drought on record across all of East Africa. In this brutal wilderness discipline, through a command structure honed across 1,000 seasons of survival. They are the river pride. One empire prevails through cunning, through sheer weight of numbers. They are the Mara clan, the largest dynasty of their kind ever recorded. Two empires carved up the Mara without conflict, one holding dominion over daylight, one holding dominion over darkness. The arrangement endured total, unspoken. But when water vanishes, every rule gets rewritten by desperation. Who commands the Mara when order breaks down? The answer waits at the last remaining waterhole. Leopard, the complete opposite. No pride, no coalition, no social structure to fall back on. One cat, one range. Among the most accomplished survivors this planet has produced. The leopard of the Mara endures through a single principle: appeasement. After a kill, it does not feed where the animal fell. Meat cached in the canopy holds for 3 to 5 days, enough to sustain the leopard across repeated visits. Leave nothing on the ground when the entire Mara is starving. Anything left on the ground in the dry season disappears in under 20 minutes. So the leopard ascends, alone, while the two empires beneath it fight over the final strips of territory. Beyond them, one more force watches. Tightly bonded, relentlessly tenacious. These are the hallmarks of formidable hunters. Wild dog hunting success reaches 80% worldwide. Yet here in the Mara specifically, that number falls to roughly 51%. Not because these dogs lack ability, but because the Mara is too fiercely contested. Wild dogs function as a distributed mind. No single member controls every decision, but when acting as one, they become an integrated engine of pace and endurance. Now, across the Mara ecosystem, only 3 to 5 packs remain active. Each pack that moves through here is among the last of its kind. Buffalo, 750 kilograms. Horns dense as iron. Herds numbering 200 to 800 within the Mara ecosystem. These are not simply prey animals. Buffalo refuse to behave like prey. The pride's unforgiving hierarchy leaves the aging king as its most exposed member. The prey now seizes the initiative. The injury rate runs 30 to 50%. This is precisely why no lone lion ever charges a buffalo. And when the pride does engage, it is always a coordinated assault, planned across several hours. And there is one more dimension to buffalo. A shared decision-making process. Whichever direction draws the most votes, that is the direction the herd takes. Authority flows from collective agreement. And when the herd pivots back as one, not a single lion, no matter how starved, chooses to stand in front of it. The hyena's cackle, long labeled the call of the coward of the scavenger, is the exact inverse of everything that label implies. It is an order, the system that holds an empire together as a single fighting unit in the dark across vast ground. If one number captures everything about the hyena, it is 80%. 80% of the Mara clan's diet comes from animals they kill themselves. From calculated, coordinated hunts run predominantly at night through the most advanced tactical apparatus of any African predator. Data confirms that lions take kills from hyenas 6.8 times more often than hyenas do from lions. Around 14% of each hyena meal ends up in a lion's stomach. The hyena possesses the most powerful bite of any predator on the African continent. But the figure alone misses the point. What matters is what that force is used for. The hyena's jaw is not a killing tool. It is an instrument of complete consumption. Every remnant, every other predator abandons. A clan of 60 can strip a 500 kilohertz buffalo down to nothing, bones included. Not a trace remains. The hyena is more than a predator. It is the Mara's biological reclaimer. Raw speed is every predator's most celebrated weapon. Yet examine the animal that traded everything for speed, and it becomes clear staying power is the decisive advantage. 4.8 kilometers, the range over which a hyena holds peak velocity without dropping off. A mature lion manages 300 meters at full sprint. Every mature female in the clan outranks every mature male, without exception. The biggest male, the heaviest, the most powerful in the Mara clan, yields to the smallest female. Female hyena fetuses are exposed to androgens, hormones normally linked to male physiology, at unusually elevated concentrations. The outcome, adult females exceed male body mass by 10 to 12%. A daughter assumes her mother's rank within 6 months of reaching sexual maturity. A lineage, but not a hollow one. Rank confers priority at kills, first rights on mates, and authority in combat formations. Inheritors waste no time pressing their claim. It begins from the earliest moments of existence. The contest opens in the den. Within hours of being born, they must forge a social order that will shape the rest of their lives. At times, only one comes through it. The hyena's call is a carrier of information and directive. Beyond communication, a single call can transmit 4 distinct categories of information at the same moment within one vocalization. Identity, social rank, group size, intensity of emotional state. During the dry season, group frequency climbs by over 40%. The Mara clan grows louder when it is starving. The Mara clan owes the night, but what happens when hunger persists past dawn? Along the Mara River, the River Pride has commanded this ground for 11 seasons. 12 to 18 members, not a large group, but on this landscape it is sufficient. The River Pride functions like a fighting machine. The males do not pursue prey, but they are no liability. A roar asserts territorial ownership, keeps rival males from testing the boundary, and defends the pride's reproductive access and food rights. A coalition of 2 to 3 males typically holds territory as large as 2,000 square kilometers. But the River Pride males are indifferent to scale. Only this ground matters. The females handle everything else, quicker and more agile. They execute 90% of all kills. A lone female hunting succeeds less than 19% of the time. When they hunt as a coordinated group, the rate climbs to 30%. and the size of targeted prey shifts dramatically. This is what sets the river pride apart from every other group. They do not just kill, they accumulate knowledge. No member arrives knowing this. Young females watch and fail for 2 full years before they can execute the approach correctly. They improve through corrected failure over many seasons, alongside the most seasoned females. And here is the river pride's deepest exposure, the danger of what cannot be replaced. What the river pride's most senior female holds is institutionally memory, which specific buffalo visit which waterhole, which can be cut from the group, which turn lethal when trapped. Her gaze moves with the deliberateness of one who has catalogued everything on this land. And knows exactly where to look. She has come through 5 dry seasons, but she will not last forever. Much like the old male who once held this pride together, he defended the entire group alone. Yet no one could defend him. So the throne changed. The females had no power over it. They could only adjust. The Mara is not an endless war zone. In ordinary times, it functions as a system of finely calibrated balance. At the core of that balance is a shared compact, rigidly honored. The dividing line is time. Lions move from first light to last. Hyenas take over when the sun goes down. A window exists when both empires occupy the same ground, and neither holds a clear upper hand. 78% of all direct clashes between lions and hyenas in the Mara happen at dawn and dusk. An entire conflict distilled into the most unstable minutes of light. Beyond time, there is a boundary drawn in sound. Both species use vocalization not only to coordinate internally, but to chart territory and track the opposition. Yet this balance is not symmetrical. It never has been. Still, the truce persists. What holds it together? Raw arithmetic. When outnumbered below 4-1, lions stand firm. Once the hyena to lion count at any clash site reaches 4-1 or beyond, lions pull back without exception. At a waterhole along the boundary of the River Pride's range, two groups converge from opposite sides. This is the twilight threshold. Lions are missing the full force of day. Hyenas are missing the full cloak of night. The math pushes toward restraint. 3 months back, the last rainfall came. The water holes have dropped to 3. The Mara clan has gone 5 days without a kill. When deprivation takes hold, the truce is paper thin. For a group of 60 to 80 individuals, 5 days without food is a crisis on a countdown. Lions can go 7 to 14 days on the fat reserves their larger frames carry. Hyenas with smaller bodies and faster metabolisms hit desperation after 5 days. Their activity shifts from strictly nocturnal to opportunistically daytime. The wildebeest moved south. The zebra went with them. What was left behind? Aging buffaloes, scattered Thompson's gazelles, impalas, and progressively emptier terrain. Nothing is left but loss. And the pressure keeps building. The Mara clan begins to splinter. The lead female does not compel them to hold position in a starving land. During the breakup, a set of remains draws some of them in. It is being stood over by the aging male lion, once belonging to the River Pride. No hesitation is required. The hyenas move in on what is left. The old king has nothing left to give. No force on earth turns this around. This small win restores some momentum to the hyenas. By midday, 62 members of the Mara clan cross into enemy ground. The leopard sensed that something fundamental had shifted in the broader dynamic. A solitary mind understands the value of absence. The small wild dog pack had been watching since the day before. They weighed the math and reached the same conclusion. Nothing here is worth the cost. The River Pride held its ground. The governing principle of every territory holding male, a pride that yields once, signals to all of the Mara that it will yield again. 2 formations, 2 war-making traditions, bearing down on a single point. Before the confrontation begins, know exactly what is on the verge of unfolding. Members spread outward from a central position into a sweeping arc. Not all push forward at once. Some anchor the flanks, some press the midpoint, producing a shape that delivers both wide reach and swift concentration when needed. The Mara clan holds a real-time acoustic map of the battlefield. Every member continuously tracks the position of the rest, enabling instant adjustment across the formation. This is a command structure with no single center. Its one exploitable weakness is interference with the acoustic network. Disrupt it and the formation breaks, not by brute force, but by injecting noise into the communication chain. The River Pride understands this. For the lions, their approach is a product of long experience. 3 to 4 females moving in a single line, coming in from downwind, so the quarry detects no scent before impact. The standard approach. But there is one factor that neither side can fully account for. A buffalo herd, 200 strong, indifferent to the standoff, focused entirely on water. The dry season has settled over the entire Maasai Mara. The central ground has been stripped of resources. Outsiders have moved in. Their calls broadcast strength and territorial appetite. The males of the River Pride respond acutely when their domain is challenged. They will travel out to enforce their authority. Parting is not without difficulty, but no alternative exists. This is the test of a king's duty. The females hunt, they repel threats, but they are not equipped to stop a full coalition of young males in their prime. The senior lioness now carries the weight. An uneasy premonition has taken hold. Because, like the dominant males, time is running out for them too. The buffalo herd completed their watering run and pulled out at dusk. What they left behind was an open, silent arena. Darkness arrives, and the terrain belongs to the Mara clan. Hyena eyes pull in more light per unit of darkness. Their sensory systems are built for movement in conditions where a lion's sight begins to falter. The night is contested ground, and its most violent encounters happen after dark. At the last remaining waterhole, the balance of control has shifted decisively from its normal position. Centered on the open mud hole, the River Pride is reduced to just 4 females and their cubs. The young cannot outrun what is coming and cannot match it in a fight. The Mara clan, reading the weakness across from them, the 4 lionesses cannot hold the formation they trained for. But standing in place means the cubs are gone within minutes. They face a single irreversible choice, one explosive drive, boring directly into the density of hyenas where their call network is at its most active. By becoming the only and largest moving danger, she compels the entire acoustic web of the Mara clan to pivot and respond. She makes herself the decoy to buy precious seconds. In that window of chaos, the other 3 lionesses pull the cubs into a fast retreat, vanishing into dense cover well away from the waterhole. The wind will carry away the scent of the young, placing them beyond the enemy's detection. At the center of the waterhole, the maneuver has worked against its maker. The matriarch stands encircled by dozens of hyenas. The lioness's strength gives out. By the middle of the night, the last sound from the queen goes silent. The Mara clan takes the waterhole entirely. No truce follows as it normally would. On this, the standoff at the last waterhole is over. The send-off at the last waterhole is over. A dynasty has surrendered its wisdom and its memory in exchange for the lives of its next generation. The cost of water in a drought is not counted in drops. It is paid with the life of a sovereign. For a full week, victorious whoops rang through the night. But dominance in the Mara is never fixed. It follows the movement of prey. After a week, the air begins to shift. Moisture rises in the wind. The Mara clan, guided by their acute sense of smell, picks up the approach of small antelope herds. The surrounding land is slowly waking after a long depletion. The arithmetic of survival pushes the Mara clan to move. No clan can hold indefinitely to a dry mud pit with nothing to eat. The crescent breaks apart, and each member disperses into the grassland on a fresh hunt. And that is when the kings return. The 2 males of the River Pride come back from an extended patrol of the borders. Their territorial instinct is immediate. The Mara clan is pushed back from the land they had barely begun to hold. The River Pride retakes their ground. Diminished, but now harder than before. Soon after, the first rain of the new season arrives. The earth begins to shift in color, from cracked red to deep brown. The terms of this land are officially renewed.
This is the Nile crocodile. When the first dinosaurs emerged on Earth, the Nile crocodile was already present. when massive shifts moved 3/4 of the planet's life toward a close, the croc remained. Its current form is nearly identical to its ancestors from 200 million years ago. This was no stroke of luck. From the very beginning, it has been the ultimate predator. This is its domain, and it is waiting. Deep within the river's shadows, its heart continues to beat. Normally, 40 beats per minute. In its quiet state, 2. So slow that the pulse is barely present. No bubbles, no movement, no signs of activity. And when the moment arrives, in the water, the Nile crocodile is in a league of its own, but the great migration is drawing near. Without the sanctuary of a family, the solitary lioness commenced her journey as a nomadic lioness. And she tempered her instincts into a weapon of singular precision. Through her acute intuition and an innate capacity to command allegiance, she gathered other wandering lionesses, individuals who had been cast out or had lost their kin, to lay the foundation for an entirely new dynasty. Under her guidance, they were forged into the ultimate warriors. Within the pursuit, the queen commands her warrior sisters. With absolute precision, with patience, and in utter silence. No quarry can evade an ambush of such meticulous positioning, timing, and profound synergy. Through this, the queen and her pride govern a territory exceeding 50 square kilometers, right within the heart of the Maasai Mara. An autonomous kingdom, rich in water sources and quarry, yet also a constant objective for ambitious outsiders. When a formidable nomadic male emerges, with the intent to usurp the throne, the queen immediately demonstrates that leadership is the ultimate weapon. The challenger, though possessing the raw power of a monarch, is ultimately forced to retreat in ignominy before a collective guided by a genius mind. Beyond being a formidable warrior or a cunning strategist, the Lion Queen is also a magnificent mother of the savanna. She nurtures her first lineage, instilling within them the codes of life. She has etched into their consciousness an eternal truth: wisdom, patience, and solidarity. Shall always hold a more vital station than mere muscular force. She continues to compose the epic of herself and her pride through resilient existence and a grand vision, a crownless queen, yet one of profound power over the African lands. Meanwhile, in the Serengeti, there remain relentless conflicts for sovereignty waged by formidable monarchs. They are a male coalition, impossible to subdue. Led by a displaced prince, bearing upon himself the scars of past defeats, yet his eyes still burn with a fierce dominance drive. Beside him stands a battle-hardened vanguard. Together, they conquer across the vast plains in pursuit of a kingdom, worthy of their ultimate ambition, where their roar shall become the solitary law. With tusks more imposing than a lion's, the hippo uses its weaponry for power struggles, rather than hunting. An assertive landlord weighing up to 1.5 tons, this giant lays down the law when it comes to its personal space. Despite appearing as a dormant boulder, this semi-aquatic giant is involved in roughly 500 fateful encounters each year. This figure makes them one of Africa's most formidable residents. When feeling provoked, the hippopotamus shows a pair of self-sharpening tusks. With a tremendous bite force ranging from 8,000 to over 9,000 newtons, they possess the strength to crush a skull as easily as a watermelon. In their world, there is no room for compromise. The most fascinating thing about this giant lies in how it moves beneath the surface. The truth is, the hippopotamus doesn't actually swim. Their dense bone structure and immense weight cause them to sink instantly, yet they have mastered a graceful walk along the riverbed. Utilizing the water's buoyancy, they take long strides like astronauts walking on the moon. However, behind that curious behavior lies a harsh and somber social structure. To maintain absolute dominance and ensure their lineage continues, dominant males often end the journey of a rival's offspring. This action forces females to return to their reproductive cycle quickly. It is a stern but effective evolutionary strategy to hold onto power. Along the Olifants River, the life of the hippopotamus is a symphony of contradictions between a calm facade and a primal intensity. The connection between the hippopotamus and the Nile crocodile is one of the most remarkable arrangements in nature's design. In terms of sheer might, the hippopotamus calls the shots in any direct engagement. Yet within that calm exterior lies unmatched strength, a bite force of 22,000 newtons. one of the most formidable tools ever crafted by nature, capable of breaking down the frame of any catch. The impressive nature of the Nile crocodile lies in how it can bide its time. By slowing its metabolism and holding its breath for 2 hours, it becomes one with the river, a phantom to those busy quenching their thirst. In the world of the Nile crocodile, the line between existence and the great beyond is as thin as a ripple on the water. Traversing the radiant periphery of the arid Ngorongoro crater, the migratory legion finally reaches the promised land of Kenya. But remain vigilant, for every paradise possesses its loyal guardians. A solitary lion never unwisely ventures into the heart of the massive collective of life. Instead, he conceals himself upon the fringes of the commotion, utilizing sharp stereoscopic vision for target selection. A momentary lapse by the fugitive has been settled through the vital stream. Encounters with the observers are inevitable. The wildebeests will continue to momentarily enjoy these days of abundance, gathering their essence until the final droplets of water evaporate beneath the equatorial sun. At that moment, the ancient rhythm will once again compel them to return to Tanzania. It will be a pilgrimage of dust and thirst, where they are destined to reunite with their old acquaintances. A pride of lions. And the crocodiles. Two forces, two directions of engagement, a herd with nowhere to turn. As the antelope hit the water, the world beneath the surface erupts in unison. The Mara River remains stirred for a long while. Then all returns to silence. The crocodile sinks back down, satisfied and unhurried. The wildebeest continue their crossing, no other path. This is the Great Migration. This is the bounty the hunter has awaited all year. It will wait another year unless someone disrupts the balance. Especially when it is a lion cub who has yet to reach maturity. Nevertheless, in the grand design of nature, the terrain is always the decisive hand. The Nile crocodile, occasionally, must depart from the water's embrace to engage in the process of thermoregulation. At this very moment, the strategic balance is instantly inverted. It has stepped into the domain where the lion reigns supreme. The steel-like scales of the crocodile become futile. In a strategic partnership, blue wildebeest can sense his water from several kilometers away, while zebras serve as the true sentinels. Each zebra is a solid 300 kilograms of muscle. They keep their eyes peeled for even the slightest movement. In grasslands like the high veld, zebras are ready to stand their ground. A perfect match, a survival alliance. Unlike the migratory lifestyle, this relative of the wildebeest continues to thrive with a helping hand from humans. During the late 19th century, hunters brought the Liechtenstein's hartebeest to the edge of disappearing from the region. It wasn't until the 1980s, when a conservation effort brought individuals back from Malawi, that the Liechtenstein's hartebeest could finally start a new chapter. Today, with just a few hundred left, spotting one is like winning the lottery in South Africa. They possess an unmistakable build. That sloping frame, similar to a hyena, provides incredible stamina when making a getaway. This is paired with an oddly long face and majestic S-shaped horns. In the tall grasslands, termite mounds serve as lookout towers, allowing them to spot potential trouble from a safe distance. This strategy still has its gaps. When a lioness begins a pursuit, she is also a remarkably persistent athlete. For swift and heavy targets, lions choose to work together to stack the deck in their favor. Upon the delicate threshold between paradise and the abyss, the heart of northern Tanzania is vibrating to the rhythm of an ancient epic. The Maasai people call this place Serengeti, the land of grassland stretching to the very edge of the world. As the northeast monsoon awakens the migratory instinct. Millions of hooves commence the greatest pilgrimage on the planet, headed toward the north. February. In a mere 3 weeks, as many as 8,000 new souls emerge every single day. This is the strategy of predator satiation. They arrive with such swiftness, in such abundance. And when those who seek nourishment are fully satisfied, the collective opportunity for the herd's endurance is secured. However, under the intense warmth of the equator, extreme levels of tension can occasionally trigger the phenomenon of maternal detachment. In the Serengeti, the dawn of existence is often marked by the hurried breath of a transition ever present by its side. They have altered the equilibrium of the inherent food chain. Within the cheetah species, even the massive male topis, or the most robust wildebeests, find themselves yielding. This is the way that the most magnificent pursuers harness every strength and seek to balance their vulnerabilities, to endure. In stark contrast to the triumphant majesty of the coalition of 5, a mother cheetah must solitarily provide for 4 young offspring, the silver mantle flowing along their spines, known as the mantle. They bear a striking resemblance to the honey badger, the most fierce and reckless creature of the savanna, whom even the lion regards with caution. Between a majestic lion and a daring honey badger, which pursuer do you believe commands more vigilance from its rivals? Returning to the devoted cheetah mother, sustaining lactation demands a colossal intake of calories. The mother cheetah must constantly relocate to conceal her young while unceasingly undertaking solitary and adventurous quests for sustenance. The governing instinct drives the great cats to execute the relentless strategy of interspecific competition. Within the crowded and narrow confines of the Serengeti, the boundaries of domains always overlap, only one. out of 10 cheetah cubs possesses the opportunity to endure until adulthood. That is a rare privilege, purchased with absolute vigilance and breathtaking escapes from the very first breath of existence. With a collective that can reach up to 40 members, this is the lion pride with the most formidable presence on the savanna. A majestic mane, it serves as a protective shield and also as an affirmation of masculine strength. But the lionesses are the true backbone of the pride's social structure. They are the pursuers, who are most versatile and wise, with an explosive velocity of up to 80 kilometers per hour within meticulously calculated, coordinated huntings. But for the wildebeest herd, there is no place for repose. They understand that time is truly the greatest adversary. The promised land of Kenya still lies hundreds of parched miles ahead. Amidst the frantic pulse of the migratory torrent, a new existence, the collective, must remain vigilant and offer its protection. The foal arrives. In a world governed by acute senses, the scent of birth is a silent summons to a banquet for the predators. The mother zebra has no more moments to spare. Those vigorous caresses are intended to activate the peripheral circulatory system and dissolve the olfactory signature. Within 15 minutes, the foal is compelled to stand firm upon its four limbs. At that moment, the fresh marathon of endurance truly commences. Back to the great migration. They are going the distance without pause. They simply cannot stop. Ahead lies the Mara River, a reason to persevere for one more season. But the Mara River is not theirs to claim. Every year, as the Great Migration reaches the edge, what follows is not a matter of choice. No wildebeest is eager to descend into those waters. No zebra is unaware of what lingers beneath the surface. Yet the pressure from behind outweighs the hesitation ahead. and so they take the plunge. One, then 10, then hundreds, until the entire river transforms into a churning brown surge. In those moments, the surface will yield. The presence lurking below has waited for this exact moment, having anticipated this well before the first wildebeest arrived at the bank. The migratory legion now stretches across 40 kilometers. But up ahead, Mara River. The waterway renowned as the Gauntlet of Destiny, at the boundary between existence and the great abyss. Those predators from the Jurassic era have waited with profound patience for half a year. For the young wildebeest, this is the trial of fortitude at the dawn of life that is most demanding. A formidable psychological weight, built by the tens of thousands behind them, compels the leaders to plunge into the rushing torrent in a state of overwhelming urgency. Here, the depth and the vigor of the current become the steadfast allies of the armored guardians. The Nile crocodile possesses a pressure of 5,000 pounds per square inch. In the defining moment, the energy radiating from the process of anaerobic metabolism within the muscles has released a final reservoir of strength, allowing this fortunate wildebeest to slip away from the final vortex. Yet the law of the great pilgrimage is already inscribed. It is destined to traverse this daunting gauntlet twice every year, repeating a sacred wager of survival. As long as the heart maintains its steady rhythm and the limbs retain the grace to outpace the eternal shadow. Beginning with the North Serengeti, the sovereign domain of approximately 100 cheetahs. Those who leave all other creatures behind in the relentless race for endurance, with only a single language: velocity. With a lightweight skeletal structure, immense lung capacity, and a flexible spine, the cheetah requires less than 2 seconds to reach a speed of 75 kilometers per hour, even peaking at 120 kilometers per hour, before the nervous system of its prey can transmit a signal of apprehension. To maintain this ultimate machine of speed, the cheetah requires at least 3 kilograms of sustenance every day. The malar stripes assist in absorbing the solar radiation, preventing any reflection. So that the eyes may remain locked on the objective. Even amidst the brilliance of the midday sun, 30 meters is the golden distance. But the air pressure undergoes a subtle shift. The instincts of the Thompson gazelle awaken, and though the moment is less than ideal, the cheetah is compelled to pursue. The balance of fate remains at 50-50. Yet the cheetah also possesses his own distinct mastery to pursue his preferred counterpart. The race reaches its conclusion. The cheetah has secured the vital fuel for his high-velocity engine. To endure within the savanna, merely being swift is not enough. You must be the ultimate embodiment of speed. However, the price to be paid is as immense as the velocity achieved. Just 1 minute is the threshold of metabolic overload. Breathing reaches 150 cycles per minute, and the body temperature rises to 40 degrees Celsius. This is the most delicate moment for the pursuer. The cheetah understands its position. The lioness is the apex predator, possessing sheer power and absolute dominance. In this realm, the one who finishes first in the race is sometimes merely the one who prepares the feast for the more formidable power. That is the reason why the male cheetahs oftentimes do not choose a solitary existence. They frequently form small coalitions consisting of 2 to 3 members who are brothers. However, the emergence of a coalition with as many as 5 members, entirely devoid of any biological kinship, is a phenomenon worthy of the profound attention of researchers. Why do the formidable choose to share their sovereign throne with those from outside their lineage? The territorial dominance of this Great Five extends across 400 square kilometers, 4 times larger than any singular domain that has ever existed in the North Serengeti. As night descends, accompanied by the sudden tempests of the sub-Saharan realm, African wild dogs begin to emerge from their sanctuary. They do not possess explosive speed, but their secret lies in endurance hunting. Within the unexpected torrential downpour, the earth, stripping away the sprinting capabilities of the wildebeest. One exhausted individual ultimately finds it impossible to remain standing within the storm. As dawn arrives, the Serengeti rises once more. And that represents the greatest concern for the cheetah mother. When she unintentionally encroaches upon the sovereign domain of the monarchs, the mother cheetah is depleted of her vital energy. And is compelled to desperately deploy the strategy of distraction display to create a window of opportunity for her 4 young ones to seek safety. Yet in the final reckoning, only a single offspring continues its journey. In this realm, velocity may provide a momentary feast, but only fortitude can safeguard the promise of the future. But the lion is not the only concern. Talik River is a turbulent waterway. The youthful cheetahs to fail to perceive the lurking presence. The mastery of crypsis by the Nile crocodile has reached a pinnacle of perfection. It commands the art of buoyancy control to transform its formidable frame into a silent element of the landscape. Fortunately, the pre-programmed reflexes of the swiftest pursuer on the planet have allowed the cheetah to elude the shadows by a narrow margin. Yet this youthful cheetah was not granted such a fortunate grace. The river bestows the essence of life upon those who seek its waters. And also calls upon them to sustain the inhabitants of the flow. Such is the way the cycle of life revolves. Even the lion is not exempt from this relentless vortex. Beneath the surface, every advantage of muscle and the terrestrial agility of the great cat is rendered ineffective. Serengeti is a battlefield woven from the evolutionary paradoxes between velocity, fortitude, and adaptation. The cheetah gambles everything on speed, yet must endure the bitter essence of losing the next generation to the brute force of a pride. The lion, the uncrowned monarch of the earth, becomes diminished and vulnerable before the Nile crocodile. And the ostrich, the one who harnesses vision, pace, endurance, and sheer power to subdue the talons of fate. Within this vast arena, there are only those who prevail to behold the dawn of tomorrow, and those who fall to sustain the eternal cycle of nature. The sole and ultimate law remains: run swifter, strive harder, and adapt more profoundly. Returning to the wild icon of the savanna, the power of the lion is not inherited in tranquility. It is a throne forged through conflict and purchased with the price of scars. The final one, to challenge the lion, is not any aggressive pursuer, but a creature full of paradox, a bird that defies every law of the heavens. The ostrich, the most magnificent bird on the planet. This 3-meter-tall being has renounced the ability to fly to race with destiny across the African plains for over 20 million years. With a long, flexible neck and eyes that are greater in dimension than its own mind, the ostrich effortlessly perceives the watcher behind the grass. While most avian species maintain a 4-toed structure, the ostrich retains only 2, minimizing friction with the earth to its essence, and allowing its frame of over 100 kilograms to reach a velocity of 90 kilometers per hour. Every endeavor of the sovereign queen of the savanna vanishes into the void. Even in the most precarious of moments, the ostrich holds the final sanction, a thunderous strike from its powerful limbs. There, the white kings must sacrifice and engage in conflicts of manifold intensity. The snow-white coat is leucism, a mutational state. At the tyrosinase locus, belonging to the recessive gene group, distinguished from the sensitivity and the diminished vision of albinism. The white lion retains all other pigments upon its physical form. To the indigenous Shangaan people, the white lions are the star lions, emissaries from the heavens, sent down to preserve the equilibrium of the sacred Timbavati lands. However, that beauty, as if emerging from legend, inadvertently strips away the gift of camouflage. This prominence does not merely alert the objective. Depriving the hunt of the element of surprise, but also attracts rivals, longing to eliminate the anomaly. If granted the choice, would you favor the majestic countenance of a star lion, or choose the common yet effective tawny coat? Within the kingdom of relentless elimination, a solitary entity bearing the shroud of white might easily succumb to the laws of concealment. Yet, a formidable pride will serve as an unyielding shield to shelter this paradox, allowing it to tread with defiance. The lion is the solitary great cat upon the planet, to establish an organized and profoundly cohesive social architecture. Their fortitude resides not merely within the sharpened talons or the colossal sinews, but within the social bonds and the absolute instinct to safeguard their kin. Typically, the authority of the pride resides with the male lions. Yet at times there exists another form of sovereign power, more silent, more acute, and more mathematical in nature. That is the reign of the lioness. She does not possess the physical manifestation of a monarch in the conventional sense, yet she governs through a strategic depth that far transcends any form of pure muscular might. More enduring than a lion, they are the most relentless marathon runners. Their primary strategy is to wear down their prize through time. The strength of the spotted hyena also lies in the complex social structure of their clans. They use tactics to create commotion and then coordinate their efforts to bring down even powerful, full-grown zebras. At choke points, like the Mara River crossings, the hyenas simply wait with patience. Those who make it past the crocodiles will find themselves meeting these persistent hunters. But the spotted hyena's ultimate tool is a jaw with bone-crushing force reaching over 9,000 newtons. In the wild expanse, the hyena ensures that, within the cycle of the Great Migration, one's departure always provides life for another. Yet, regardless of their prowess on land, hyenas understand their boundaries well. There are places on this continent where even the largest hyena clan must think twice before venturing. Those borders are defined by what remains hidden in the depths. The hyena was fortunate. Their engagement took place only at the water's edge. A clash of talons and explosive muscular force erupts as this coalition stands in direct confrontation with the former monarch of the land. Until the absolute authority of the displaced prince claims victory. The Valley of Blood and Fire is born. The coalition asserts its dominance through coordinated pursuits. That far transcend any conventional biological limits. They do not dissipate their energy upon effortless objectives. The ambition of the coalition is directed squarely at the most resilient and perilous beings. The coalition overwhelmed the near-ton titan in a mere heartbeat. Harnessing their combined mass and enveloping maneuvers to neutralize the horns of destiny. But the pinnacle of power and the essence of audacity is the confrontation with the African elephant. It is a definitive affirmation. Sent unto the whole of the Serengeti, no living being lies beyond the reach of the coalition. A new apex predator force has truly ascended, and their roar shall resonate eternally. In the chronicles of this wild expanse, as an epic of strength and ultimate solidarity.